So at about 11:10 a.m., our dispatch center received a call from Schleman Hall from the mission desk that stated they had just received a kind of specific, non-specific bomb threat. The caller stated that there was a bomb in Schleman Hall and it was going to explode. People needed to leave immediately. So we responded. We cleared and evacuated the building. Our firefighters went through and checked the facility and the rooms to make sure that everything appeared to be okay, while our officers kept coming on the building, keep people out. Firefighters came out, brought our dog in to sweep some areas that were a little bit tight for the firefighters to get in, just to reconfirm that we didn't have anything in there. Obviously, we saw them just come out, and there's nothing in there right now, so we were going to release the building back to normal operations.
What specifically did the caller say?
My understanding is, and I don't know if it's exactly verbatim, my understanding is the caller stated that there was a bomb in the building and it was going to explode. People need to leave now.
And so what, I'm not looking for your proprietary information, but what do you look for when you get a general statement like that?
Yeah, so basically we've got a pretty well-written protocol that we follow. Obviously, everything is fluid, and so we take those protocols as the backbone of the operation, and then we make adjustments on the fly based on the individual situations. In this particular situation, it was kind of a specific but non-specific threat, so we chose to err on the side of caution, and we had people leave the building just as a precaution, based on the fact that the caller said that there was a bomb in there and it was going to explode. People need to leave now.
Any way for you to find out more about the caller in any way?
Yeah, so we are forensically going backwards to some of that with some information off the trapped phone call that we've got, and our investigators are working on that now.
Are there any consequences that might come if you do identify who the caller is?
Absolutely. Well, we'll depend on our local prosecutor's office to help us out with some of that, but obviously nowadays with all of the domestic terrorism laws and things like that, they'll certainly do different things that we'll be able to look at based on what we can actually prove.
When was the last time a bomb threat happened?
Thankfully, it's been a while. I think the last one that we had that was of any significance like this was a co-wreck, and I believe that was last spring.
But in the end, what made you feel safe to reopen the building?
So in the end, we take a lot of time, and I understand that it kind of disrupts the business of this particular residence of this particular building, but we're based on the fact we're a large Division I STEM university, we have a pretty robust process for dealing with things like this. We've run through those processes. We engaged all of our technology and all the tools and our assets, and everything that we can tell right now from all the information that's gotten back to us through that technology and those assets is that there is no explosive device in that facility right now.
Last thing for me, I talked to some employees who didn't want to speak on the record, therefore I'm asking you.
Sure.
They indicated that there's an emergency plan,
yes,
and that they followed it. They're supposed to go to certain points and report to somebody. So how did the plan work?
Yeah, absolutely. So every building on campus has some sort of building emergency plan that is supported by our Ronnie Wright in our emergency preparedness office, and each building has a building deputy who should be working with the folks that work in that facility to have some sort of plan. So as you noticed, a lot of the folks came out and they were in specific groups in specific areas. So Schleman is one of the facilities that I know has a pretty robust plan, and it looks like to me, from what I could tell, they followed it.
Has anybody looked in any of the adjacent buildings?
No, we don't have any reason to believe that we've got any other issues in any other buildings. The threat was specifically that. Obviously, we swept the exterior of the facility and around the bushes, and any vehicles, the bus that was over there, we swept just to make sure nobody had dropped something onto it. And we're comfortable at this point to let people access the facility again.
Mike Lewitzo asked this question, so I'll give him credit. Where was President Daniels in the adjacent building?
You know what? That I don't know. I was a little busy out here in Instant Command, but I know that our alert system let everybody know what was going on. Obviously, Twitter is working because you all showed up pretty quick. So the process worked very well. And so people, the idea of the alert is to let people know that there's some sort of ongoing incident that they need to be aware, and they need to take some sort of action to protect themselves, or they need to make decisions on their own personal safety, and that's what people do.